Hello all, Sabello here. Welcome back to another one of the playlist pros and cons of Mack McKraken for Plunder Pirates. Today we're going to be taking a look, as I just previously said, Mack McKraken, the pros and cons. As always, we're going to start with the pros, then move on to the cons. Let's get to it, people. HP buff for gold and grog storages / collectors, and that's across the island, which is great. I mean, hit points on the storages alone are pretty high normally, but with the added buff, and it's all level dependent, I think it's probably about 22% it starts at, which is a fifth, roughly, of the HP of your storages, which they're in the thousands, so it's a lot more they've got to get through just to try and take out your storages, giving your defences more time to react. Collectors are not really that tanky, but again, it gives maybe some gun towers or cannons another couple of hits before the collectors go down. Good on defense against thieves. Yeah, whenever you attack with all thieves, because of the extra HP on the storages and the collectors, it's harder for your thieves to get through and take out them storages. You would probably, instead of taking out all 6 storages, you might only take out 3 or 4. So that's the benefit to having him on defense. Now, he's not going to be that helpful in the 500 plus PR range. He might be useful. Well, he will be useful in the lower 100 PR range. He'll be useful maybe 200 PR range, although I don't think you see too many thieves there. But yeah, certainly the lower 100s and below 100. Okay, so the attacking side of things. Targets, collectors and storages only, then all buildings after all resource buildings and the shark trap, depending on what pirate hall level you are, and attacking. He will only go for resources first. When he's destroyed the storages and collectors, and maybe the shark trap, yes, the pirate hall does store some loot, but he doesn't go for it. Just so you're aware that once he's took out all those, he will target the next available building, whether it's a defense or an academy, builder's house, whatever. Moving on to the next pro. His ability has a huge AoE, which is area of effect to all buildings. It is a massive radius. Not that it's a great damage dealing tool. It does some damage, so you could get some damage down to mortars, the grand pounders, gun towers, you name it. Even the pirate will you get a little bit of damage down. But it's more than one building, hence area of effect that you can actually get some damage down to, helping you out. Okay, let's jump onto his cons then. Let's see what's the bad rap sheet about him. A centralised legendary fort is required to get the use of cannon buff. It's only cannons near the legendary fort, and since there's so many other legendary pirates that have buff for cannons, Romeo Boomer's one, and then he gives you hit points for walls as well, it's not really ideal to have him on defense. Again, only if you're expecting people to be attacking your base with thieves, he's more useful in that respect. Or whether you haven't got much loot, you're just trying to use your storages as more like a pirate hall rather than having your exposed pirate hall, and putting them more in the entrances so it takes them longer to get through the storages. That would be the only other type of thing that I would use him for. He only targets resources not appropriate for rumbles, etc. So during the Thunderstruck event, plunder time, you need stars as well. He's not really, I mean, sailing's nothing really to do with anything other than that. He's not really useful. If you're just farming for resources, maybe using thieves with him, or if you're wanting to sort of clear up a bit of loot, most of the defense are destroyed in the middle of the base, you sort of run out of troops, because he's so quick. And there's, oh, I forgot to say, you can jump over walls as well, that's a pro. So yeah, he can jump over the walls once most of the defense are destroyed, get that 1 or 2 storages, maybe, and use his ability in there. Okay, I'm on the cons, I'm bigging him up again. But it's true, he's not really that useful. Shares the same silo material as Blackbeard's copper ingot. He is, I would say, neither is really worth your main focus. It depends if you really want to use Mack McKraken to farm resources, but there's so many other legendary pirates on a higher priority list than Mack McKraken. It doesn't matter really who he shares his silo material with. I wouldn't worry too much unless it's just getting him to level 2 or 3. You've got a bit of leftover grog, then you might as well use his copper ingot. But I mean, if you're prioritising Blackbeard more, than don't. We'll dive into the core of the base to get resources, and he doesn't really have a lot of hit points. Is the problem with him. He will again jump over the walls if there's no collectors around the outside, depending on the radius of him and where the buildings relate to. He will just jump straight into the core of the base, attracting attention from the mortars, cannons and gun towers, and he won't really 2-3 seconds, I reckon, then that would be him dead. He's not that useful for that type of thing. You've got to be real careful how you use him. Struggles to fit into a suitable troop composition due to the speed and targeting. The speed's talking about his movement speed and his attack speed once he's hitting collectors and storages like a thief. And again, because of the targeting system, because it's resources based, it's very hard. I mean, you can't really use Mack McKraken with juggernauts and gunners, bombers and etc. I mean, unless you're going to save him to deploy him once you're in the core of the base and your troops are taking damage and they're soaking up damage, then he could jump in, maybe be a bit helpful. But it's really hard to fight unless using thieves. There's not much really is going to be helpful in a troop composition. And I hope that summed up Mack McKraken for you. He's okay. There's no point again rushing out and going to get him because he's not really going to offer you enough in utility on defense or offense. Hope you're enjoying these playlists of pros and cons for all the legendary pirates. Don't forget to check the others. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.